Okay, everybody. I want to talk about the telephoto lens. And what the telephoto lens does is it allows you to set your camera up a far, far, far distance from the action and zoom into it. Okay. So to display that, I have set up this is a 3D modeling software called Blender. Right. And I want to zoom in here. In here, I have a character. All right. This character right here for our model. This is Bonnie. Bonnie's a 3D model. Then I have two cameras. I have one here. Right. This is a camera. You can see it right here. And then I have another camera farther away here. Okay. Now what I'm doing is just shifting perspectives here so you guys can see in the 3D space. Camera, here's the camera with the telephoto lens on it, right? And this camera up here does not have a telephoto lens. Okay, so a couple things happen when we put that telephoto lens on there. What it does is it brings this object close up to the camera, okay? So with the regular photo or the regular lens, right, it does not bring the action up like that, okay? Let me switch to a side view. Okay. So here we have the first camera without the telephoto lens. Okay. And I'm going to show you some movement now. Watch Bonnie. She's going to move. She's going to go from here to here. I say what? 10 feet, let's call it. 10 feet from there to there. Now, she's only about, 20, 30 feet away from the camera, let's say. Right? Let's say if it was 10, 20, 30 feet. Okay? Roughly 30 feet. So in this movement, she covers 20 feet. Right? That's 2/3 of the distance between this lens and Bonnie now. Right? She's covered 2/3. So what does that look like in the frame? I'm going to show you. All right. This is the camera view. This is the view when I hit this button from this camera lens. All right. This is the view from this camera lens. I'm going to get rid of the cube in the back. Okay. We're just going to focus on Bonnie. Now with this regular lens, when she moves that 20 feet, watch how she grows in size. You see that? She gets larger. Okay, that's with that regular lens. The mind translates that size growth on screen into deep space, right? In our minds, objects, or in the real world, when objects come closer to you in real life, they appear to get larger. So when we see that on screen, it automatically translates or cues in our head, our brains, deep space. Okay. Now I'm switching off this view, back to the camera. Okay, that's the regular view, her regular movement. Okay. Now I'm going to back out to this camera. And remember, this has the telephoto lens on it. Okay. This one does not have the telephoto lens. I'm switching to the one that does have the telephoto lens. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this other camera so we can't see it. Okay, now watch how the view differs from this lens. Okay, I'm going to move her back again to her A position, her starting position. Now we're going to look at Bonnie. Here she is. Now watch as she moves. Look, there's very little size growth. Okay? That tiny bit of size growth will not trigger the deep space cue in your mind. You will translate this as flat space. Okay? So it has compressed the movement into the camera. That's what the telephoto lens does. So now you can have objects move to and from the camera without triggering deep space in the audience's mind. You see that? Let me switch back. Okay. I'm going to switch to this camera now. Okay. Here we go. Oh, did I do the right one? Nope, that's not the right one. Sorry. Here we go. Switch back to this one. And now watch her move again. We have size growth. The movement is not compressed. That's deep space. You see that? As she moves to and from the camera, right? The relative distance between this camera and her movement is 2/3, right? Whereas when I switch to the other camera with the telephoto lens, look at the relative distance here. Okay? It's different. You get the relative distance here on this camera. Right? It's different. There's barely any movement, any size growth with the same movement. Okay? That is translated into flat space. The lack of growth through that movement. Okay? All right, that's one thing that's achieved through the lens.